Hi all and welcome to the FPL tips for Game Week 3. Well, first two game weeks have just flown by and we have seen some great teams in and putting in some scintillating performance. But some of our favorite teams, like my Liverpool team, has not done that well. Just two matches, 2 points, and Manchester United struggling at rock bottom, losing the first two games. So we have seen a lot of interesting people actually come in and do fairly well, and some of them were people whom we expected to do well. Actually, they have done well in FPL, and for this game week, I think you need to take care of a couple of things. Firstly, we have still not settled in yet as far as the league is concerned, as far as the people whom we feel would be pretty good. And also, we have to also understand that the strategy should be for the next couple of game weeks and not this one, because this is a league and it is not a one game week event which we need to take care of. So, how my strategy basically for this tips would be that I would let you know about the favorable fixture list of big six clubs in the next 5 game weeks, and for the rest of the leagues, the teams which have easier fixtures, and we will pick the best player who are available, are in good form, and whom we believe would be an asset for you going forward in your team. Just to make you understand that the FPL is worked on a very cramped budget, so you cannot just have the likes of Haalands and Salahs and Sons and Kanes and De Bruyne in one team. So you have to be really realistic and ensure that you have to manage everything in the £100 million you get. So let's start and let's talk about the teams with the easier fixtures going for the next 5 game weeks. So Chelsea, Man City, and Arsenal, they all have fixtures which you can definitely look forward to for them to score good points. And we start with Chelsea having Leeds away, Leicester home, Southampton away, West Ham home, and Fulham away. So all these games, I expect, apart from maybe West Ham home, I think other games should be straightforward for Chelsea. Although Premier League, nothing is straightforward. And we have Manchester City again on this list. I mean, the way they have played in the first two games, I think every fixture for them would be straightforward. But it doesn't work like this. Although they have Tottenham home in game week 7, and that is going to be their biggest test of the league so far. But again, the four fixtures which we see: Newcastle, Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest, and Aston Villa, look relatively comfortable for City, and you can have a lot of points from the players who would be playing in those games. Arsenal has started brilliantly. I think their players have looked menacing. They have been outstanding to say the least, and they have fixtures like Bournemouth away, Fulham home, Aston Villa home, Manchester United away. Now, Manchester United away used to be I would say, a tough game for Arsenal. It might still turn out to be, because Manchester United getting Casemiro almost done, and still trying to add a couple of more players. So you just never know how United would be. But at this point of time, the way Arsenal is playing, how ruthless they seem, how comfortable they seem, how in tandem their players are. So I believe that Arsenal has a very good chance in doing fairly well in the next 5 fixtures. Now, apart from this, let's look at the rest of the league and their 5 fixtures. So we have Brentford. Brentford, mighty impressive in the last game week, winning 4-0 against an absolutely hapless United. But they have a fixture of Fulham away, Everton home, Crystal Palace away, Leeds home, and Southampton away. Now, the way they have started and the way they are looking, I think all the fixtures here, they should get something out of it. Apart from maybe Crystal Palace away would be slightly tricky, but they have something. I think the way they are playing, good value of Brentford players. If you want to have them, that this is going to be really helpful for you. Then let's talk about Brighton. I mean, Brighton have been really bright the way they have started, beating Manchester United, drawing a game but without conceding. They are a team which looks a very well oiled and a balanced team, and Even though players like Bissouma has left them, I mean, it is not making much of a difference for Brighton, whom I believe that they are still looking really strong. Next fixture might be a little tricky for them, which is West Ham away. But after that, if you see Leeds home, Fulham away, Leicester City home, and Bournemouth away, I think all the four fixtures, they have a good value for Brighton to actually score a lot of good points. Then let's talk about Leeds, and I think this is, apart from the next fixture which they have Chelsea home, which is a tough fixture. It won't be that easy for Chelsea, but look at after that, you have Brighton away, you have Everton home, you have Brentford away, and you have Nottingham Forest home. So this is again a list which I feel is pretty promising for Leeds as well, and we would see lot of points probably from their players. So now let's talk about our next section, which is buying or selling of players. I mean, I am pretty sure that a lot of you, FPL managers would still be thinking about some players which are high value players, which would be there in your team, but they may not have performed. And you would be seeing, the players in the range of $4 to $5 million range doing phenomenally well, and you just start asking yourself whether you should keep those players or sell those players. And I mean, I think after the first game week, I was talking to so many FPL managers, and I think there was an outflux of Gabriel Jesus because of the fact that he did not get anything in the first game week and all. But if you would have seen the coverage of my the second game week FPL tips, I categorically told you to keep hold of that player, and in the second game week he looked absolutely brilliant. And now we are seeing so many players transferring him again and again, and that's the beauty of FPL. And you need to give time for these to these great players, because I'm again repeating, it's a league. It's not decided on one game week or two game week. You need to show some patience with the players. However, some players which even I believe, or even some of the FPL managers would believe that they should be avoided at this point of time, based on the permutation combinations of the fixtures, about the team form, about how they are performing, about the fitness level. And if this is something which is bothering those players, I think then we definitely need to replace those players. So the first one we are referring here in the buy or sell column is Anthony Robertson. See, Robertson is one of the favorite players which I have. He is a very hard-working left back, but the way he has started in the first few games, I won't be surprised if Tsimikas starts some games, because Andrew Robertson still looks a kind of a spent force. He is not 100% fit. It doesn't seem as if he's creating that many opportunities. He's not crossing in that much, and Liverpool are leaking goals. As I said, out of nine games which they have played, they have conceded first goal in the last 8 games. So clean sheets are not coming. A value of 7 when you compare this with Zinchenko, again valued at a very lesser price, around 5.1 to 5.2. You have Reece James, who is phenomenal. So many different defenders. Veltman has been doing really well. Talk about Manchester City's pure defenders as well. Cancelo is probably at the same value of Robertson. So I think Liverpool still need some time to sort out their defense, and I think it's wise for you to sell Robertson and focus on the players which we have just discussed. And specifically, do go through what the fixture list which we have also shared. When you feel that you have alternatives at a relatively cheaper option, then it's a wise strategy to switch accordingly. The next players which we are suggesting, now there are two players, same club, and this just probably also explains why Manchester United are doing fairly poorly at the start of the season. Rashford, he looks an absolute shadow of himself. I don't know what is wrong with him. His form has just dished him actually. He's not been able to build anything, not been able to connect with anybody. Just looks as if he needs a long break. That's what it looks. And Sancho is it's not created anything in the last couple of games. I think United's performances have been just they have been horrible the way they have played. And in the attacking sense, I don't think Jadon Sancho is adding any value, although I still believe he's a phenomenal talent. But something is wrong with United that whosoever joins them is actually underperforming. So Sancho at this point doesn't make much of a sense. Although next match against Liverpool, United can just raise their game anytime. So I still feel you have better alternative in the middle of the park. You talk about Martinelli's who are at 6.1, 6.2. You talk about Pascal Gross and these kind of players. So there are a lot of players in the midfield which you can have at a cheaper option, and the teams which are doing well, teams which are looking pretty positive. I think you can have a replacement of Sancho and Marcus Rashford if you have them in your team. So the first players which we are letting you know that which you need to consider from the big six are Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli, and Reece James. Now Gabriel Jesus, as I've said last time also, he's somebody you needed to take care of, hold him. Just don't judge by the first game which he has played, and in the second game, scoring to, assisting to. I mean, that's how brilliant he has been. And Jesus, I think he will be a super force to reckon with this season. He has been one of the best forwards to play for City, but with so much rotation that has happened with City, so many different players playing for City, I think there was never an opportunity for Jesus to showcase his talent fully, because he was thought to be replacing Sergio Aguero. Aguero has been a legendary player for Manchester City and in the Premier League. So Jesus now is at a very good place. I think he is, I would say, the form of his life, doing really well at a good age, and I think he would be an asset. So he should be a permanent one in your team, not only for this game week but going forward as well. And Arsenal has a favourable fixture, if you remember. I've just discussed this with you. So expected goal and assist put together 1.16 per match is brilliant, even though it's just a sample size of 2 games. But Jesus at 8.1, I think he is as good as a Harry Kane or anybody of a higher significant value. Then talking about Gabriel Martinelli. Now Martinelli, I think he's overtaken Saka, because I have seen that a lot of people are now kind of confused. Saka valued at 8 has not been that great as far as this goal scoring threat is concerned. And if you're comparing this with Martinelli, then Martinelli has actually looked very good. He has looked pleasing to the eyes. He has looked actually somebody who's at the kind of right place at the right time. And I think 2 goals just scored, 1 goal each in both the games. With Jesus playing so well with the easier set of fixtures, I think this is one player which you should definitely get in your team. Then we have Reece James. Now Reece James has been, he's always been impressive. I think he, along with Trent Alexander-Arnold, are two best right backs of England. And the way Chelsea is playing, I think he's more of a winger. I mean, it's good for football managers that he's valued at 6.1. He's a defender, but he actually plays like a winger. So the benefit for you is you can get both the points of defensive clean sheets as well as of attacking threat, and he has done that, right? He has scored a goal. I think it was a very fine goal assisted by Sterling. So Reece James will give you points of clean sheet, and I think it's just a matter of time before Chelsea starts sorting out their defenses. The first game obviously was a clean sheet for them, but in the last game they had, and it was a pretty heated game. We saw what happened between Conte and Thomas Tuchel. But Reece James for me is a pick is a long-term pick for you also. And I think if you have Trent and you're kind of unsure, because even though Trent actually created a lot of chances in the last game, but at a significant lower price with the resolute defense of Chelsea, I think he is a better option at this point of time, and I think you would be able to get a lot of points if you have him in your team. So now let's talk about the players from the rest of the league which they're not part of so-called Big Six. As I said, Leeds, Brighton, Brentford have easier fixtures, so I picked up one player each from those teams which can be a good cheaper option for you, and they would actually be kind of differential picks because the number of people who have picked them is significantly less. So Rodrigo now, I think Rodrigo's form is coinciding with, the void that has been left with Rafinha moving from Leeds to Barcelona. And Rodrigo is taking his chances beautifully, getting into those good critical positions. In two matches, he has scored 3 goals, 8 shots overall he has taken. He has put 4 shots on target. Expected goal per assist is 1.16, and I think this is going to be another strong player with strong performances, with relatively good, I would say, fixture if list, if not great. He's somebody I think he would be doing really well. Now Pascal Gross is the reason we are picking it, not because of the two Manchester United goals, I mean, which he scored against them. It's also about the fact that he takes corners also. I think 7 out of 9 corners of Brighton have been taken by Gross only. So there is a huge significant chance of finding somebody like Weltman, I would say, in the D, or anybody, Danny Welbeck also. So there is a chance of getting assist as well. 6.1 is relatively cheap option if you see his form, if you see how he has been playing and how well organized and galvanized Brighton is at this point of time. Now another option at the forward, he's one of the best players I believe in the Premier League because of the work ethics, because of the hard work he puts in here. It's Ivan Toney. Again, Brentford looks a team who would definitely stay. It doesn't look a team who would be threatened by relegation. Last time also they were pretty comfortable. And Ivan Toney and Muembu both are looking in scintillating form. And even though Ivan Toney has just scored 1 goal and assisted 2, he's somebody who is actually a kind of a playmaker also. So you see, 3 shots, 1 on target, that was a goal. Expected goals and assist is around zero point 0.7. That is going to rise only the way he is playing, and they have also a good kind of fixtures which are coming in. So I think you should consider Ivan Toney, and again as a cheaper option. I would say you cannot get all the Haalands and everyone at the same place. You definitely need to have a mix and match of taking care of your budget as well. Now for captain picks, this is pretty interesting. I do understand Mo Salah is someone who, a lot of people say that he has not started well or whatever. Maybe I think in the first game he had a goal and an assist. But Salah, I would still say he would be in a reckoning for Golden Boot once again. And they are going to Manchester United. So Liverpool's Monday Night Football match, Mo Salah, he scored a hat-trick last time when they went to Old Trafford. Not so sure about, we can say that he'll definitely get a hat-trick again, but I think Salah will again do significantly well. And with Liverpool struggling right now to score goals, I just want to remind you that in the league, in the first 2 games, Liverpool created the highest number of chances. But again, what their the problem which has been of taking those chances, and Darwin Nunez now suspended because of that stupid headbutt. I think Mo Salah would step in, and he, along with Diaz and Bobby Firmino, I think they are going to again wreak havoc in the forward. And I think Mo Salah should be at the top of your mind when you are selecting a captain. The second option is Gabriel Jesus. Expected goal and assist of 1.16, looking brilliant. I think Jesus is one player which you can surely have. Not only he is scoring goals, but he's creating chances also. And against Bournemouth, a team which actually was exposed by Manchester City, and City could have actually scored more goals. I think he would be again pretty favorite to have couple of goals and make Arsenal win comfortably. Third player is Reece James. I'm suggesting, see, Reece James, as I said, clean sheets can also add to the points of Reece James, and obviously as a defender, if you score, you get 6 points. So designated defender, but plays like a midfielder. Again, with Chelsea's brilliant attack, they don't have a number 9 to call in for, so they are majorly dependent upon the people coming from the wings actually to score goals. So this is going to be helping Reece James. Plus, Leeds are a very porous defensive unit, and there would be a lot of chances which Chelsea can create. And I strongly feel that Reece James is a very good contender for you to keep him as a captain for FPL Game Week 3. So that's it. These were my tips and advices to you for this game week. I hope that you would be able to add value to your team. But just to let you know, and just to probably just remind you that subscribe to our channel for all the FPL tips and analysis, as well as for Dream11 Football, which is a kind of I would say it's a fantasy sport, and also we would like to present you with more and more content going forward for FPL as well. But if I would like to give you some advices. Just keep it simple. Don't have knee-jerk reactions of chopping and changing players very soon. The league still has to settle. Focus on long-term strategy and take informed decisions only by understanding the next few fixtures and not the next one only. So thank you so much and all the best.